Well, today is the last day um, of Slavery Reminder Month. 28 days. They reminded you of your slavery. You slave, you ex-slave, you slave. 28 days, boy. They focused on what they claim. We're going to focus on your history. We're going to call it Black History. I keep telling y'all, thing is satanic. I've been telling you that for years. This is Black History. Black? What is black? What's black? African American. What's African? What's American? They didn't tell you nothing. 28 days, boy, they didn't tell you a thing. They didn't tell you nothing. They didn't tell you nothing. Who's they? Everybody. Everybody. Trump didn't tell you. Obama didn't tell you. Oprah didn't tell you. Whoo, none of the stars on the Walk of Hollywood fame told you. I've been telling y'all. They didn't tell you nothing. 28 days is supposed to be your history. What did you learn, Zion? Nothing. Oh, well, we found out an inventor. We found out a singer. That ain't history. What is wrong with y'all? This is terrible. It was prophesied. Listen, how you gonna give a history, black history, right? What? First of all, you ain't defined what black is. Hilarious. Because there ain't no such thing as black. I'm brown. Most of y'all watching me, y'all brown. Either really light brown or dark brown, but you're brown. But that's, look, what does that mean? Oh, so ain't nobody reading Psalm 83, huh? So Psalm 83, especially when you get down like verse 3 and 4, where they say, let's conspire. Let's get together. Let's conspire. To do what? Read it. It's in the Bible. Cut them off as a nation. So not one time did you hear anything about nationality. Nationality. The nation you belong to. What is your nation? And what is that national or that nation's history? They said black, and they started you in 1619. I told y'all they was gonna do it. All they was doing, reminding you was a slave. And you're so proud. You went to, some of y'all cousins and uncles, I'm not gonna say y'all did, but some of y'all did too. Oh, we having a Black History program, and we're gonna have a Black History awareness, and we're gonna have a Black History musical, and we're gonna have a Black History sermon, and we're gonna have a Black History recognition. This is where they sat down. This is where they boycotted. This is where they got beat. This is where the dogs got them. This is where the holes hit them. This is where they was locked up in jail. This is where they starved. This is where they died. This is where they got whipped. This is where they hung. Are you serious? You still going for that today? Man, we've been hollering. Psalm 83, baby, is in the Bible. Wait a minute, hold on. We ain't just talking about the United Snakes. They took crafty counsel. Who took crafty? The whole known world, the powers that be. That's who took crafty counsel. Everybody. Everybody. Did you hear it coming out of China? Did China say, oh, this month we need to reveal who the Hebrews are? Wait a minute, hold on. Did Tel Aviv do it? Oh yeah, by the way, the true Hebrews, the true Israelites were taken in them slave ships according to Deuteronomy 28, verse nothing that you didn't already know. pointing out a few inventors and some singers is not history. It's not how you tell someone their history. The way you do history is you say, this nation began when? That starts your history. If you're going to tell history, you got to use chronology. Everybody knows that. You can't start history talking about 1619. Well, this is Black History Month. What's black? A color crayon. I'm looking at, listen, this is black. I'm brown. Just like the Hamashiach. Brown, burnt brass. As though it had been tried in the fire. They didn't tell you nothing. And they're not going to tell you because read that Psalm 83. It says they took crafty counsel and said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. How you going to have a history and we're not talking about nationality? If it's a history of us, then we're going to have a nationality. What is our nationality? Black. Black ain't no nationality. Black's not a nationality. Black is not even a real color of the people on this planet. People on this planet are shades of brown. But they got all y'all, we got to have a Black History Month. And who's going to be our Black History speaker? And who's singing for Black History Month? And, ooh, Black History. We got us as a month, a whole month. Man, come out that foolishness. They didn't teach you nothing. I'm going to teach you more in this video than you even know. All 28 days they gave you. They didn't tell you that. Number one, your history starts with Adam. His very name means black from the soil. The word red comes from that idea of brown. It's the color of earth. You mix earth with blood, you're going to get the darkest brown you can get. That's Adam. That's where your history started. Then once we come from Adam, which is, by the way, the history of man. So our history is human history. Look it up. The only humans with 100% human DNA. Our history has people in it like Enoch, like Methuselah, like Noah that saved the whole world, like Shem, like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Now we're starting to talk about family. The 12 tribes. Tribes are brothers. We got 12 tribes. Those are uncles. We got 11 uncles, and really it's split up to 12 because one of our uncles, Uncle Joe, y'all call him Joseph, but his name is Joseph. His two boys he got the double blessing. So it went to Ephraim and Manasseh. Uncle Ephraim, Uncle Manasseh. And from those sons, we get the 12 tribes of Israel, and that's the beginning of our nation. That's our nationality. Yisrael. Then you got to tell the story of Israel. You got to tell the story of how while we were enslaved, we went to Egypt and saved it, then we're enslaved in Egypt by a Pharaoh who was afraid of us and afraid of our numbers and afraid of our multiplication. You got to tell the story. That's our history. But then Yah promised that he would get us up out. And he did get us out as a nation, gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, and told us that we would be the head and not the tail if we kept the commandments. But if we broke the commandments, all these curses would come upon us. And by the time you get to Deuteronomy 28, he's going to talk about all the different curses that are going to come upon a nation that disobey. And when you read Deuteronomy 28, you're going to discover in 28 and in 29, you're going to discover that it's talking about us just as plain as day. But did they tell you that? Did you see any movies on that? Did you see any sitcoms on that? Did you see any award shows talking about that? Did the president talk about that? Did the NAACP talk about that? Did anybody talk about that? They didn't tell you nothing. We come up out of there as a nation, Zion, out of Africa and Egypt, went into the promised land under Joshua. Moses couldn't get it because some of you Hebrews got under his skin, boy. Woo! Hey, man, y'all didn't. Moshe so cold after 40 years, but he saw it. Didn't get in. Joseph got in, though. I mean, Joshua and Caleb. They made it into the promised land, and after that, we fought battles and ended up growing into a huge nation. And then our people wanted a king. This is our history, Zion. We had Yah as our king, but the people wanted a king they could see. Read Samuel. First Samuel said that Samuel took it personal at first. Yah said, man, it ain't personal. They upset at me. They want a king like everybody else. They ended up getting Saul, and then Saul didn't obey Yah. The kingdom got torn from him. Went to our King David, who's from our tribe. That's our grandpa. They didn't tell you that in school, did they? You didn't learn that in church, did you? You know that was your grandpa. They didn't tell you nothing. Did the president tell you? Did Obama come out of retirement and tell you? Because he know. Everybody know but you. David's your grandpa. And Grandpa David had the kingdom back united and strong. And then, of course, prepared to build Yah a temple. Wasn't allowed to do it. Too much blood. He was a warrior. Your grandpa was a warrior. Woo-wee. You ought to read his battles. You ought to read the fights. Fought until he was just too old. Anyway, then he had a son named Solomon who, watch this, Zion, they didn't tell you this. You come from the wisest man on planet Earth ever living beside Hamashiach. That's your grandpa. That's why you're so smart. They didn't tell you that in school. They didn't tell you that in church. They didn't tell you that from the government. They didn't tell you that at the World Council. You have no idea why you smart. You just know you smart because your grandpa was smart. Solomon in your bloodline. Either your grandpa or your uncle. Then after Solomon started chasing strange women, had 1,000 women. Yeah, we have the good and the bad. It's in our culture. That's when our kingdom split. And once our kingdom split into two, 10 of the tribes went north. 2 of the tribes stayed south. But Levi, he was scattered throughout the tribes because he had to have a place to be taken care of because he worked for Yah. And his inheritance was Yah. All right, y'all got that? Giving you your true history. Then our nation fell into idolatry and wanted to be like the people around them. Just like here. Oh my goodness gracious. What did they get? Stockholm syndrome. Warned against that. Solomon said, don't envy your oppressor. But did they listen? No, they want everything the oppressor got. They want to eat what the oppressor eating. They want to be able to go to the store the oppressor go to. They want to drive what the oppressor drive. They want to look like the oppressor. So now the goal is to be like the oppressor. When I look back on the civil rights movement, I ain't mad at nobody. I ain't mad at you. But I'm telling you one thing. I think what Yah was trying to do with that whole segregation thing, I think he was trying to create a Goshen. I think the South was originally supposed to be in some other areas where we had much land, millions of acres, what I'm told. I think we were supposed to create a Goshen, and I think that separation was something that was intended by Yah, so we could get back to teaching our people the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yah, and develop a culture, or what we would call a subculture inside of this culture, where we would tell everybody their true identity. But nevertheless, Yah still has a plan. And his plan obviously was to give us, to allow that to happen so that we could look back on it. So when he woke us up, we could see the mistakes. But anyway, our culture this ain't the first time we did that. That's my whole point. We wanted Christmas. We wanted that back in the day. Jeremiah said the reason why y'all in trouble because you want Christmas trees. Y'all want Easter eggs. You want to do Lent. You want to weep for Tammuz. You want to have, man, all that's in Jeremiah. Then we come out of slavery. Here, doing the same thing. Still want a Christmas tree. Still want to eat pigs. Still want to have Easter egg hunts and all that. Come on, man, the same. But they ain't told you that. They ain't tell you that this is the reason why we're in the condition we're in. Then when it comes to our extraordinary abilities, they don't have no answer for that. They just say, this is their word. They say, that's God-given. That's God-given talent. That's God-given ability. Notice they always say God-given. They just use the term now. That's so athletic. When it's a white boy and he become top of the game, I ain't mad at them either, because there's some cold white boys out there today. Hey, shouts out. If they make it amongst all these Hebrews, them some bad dudes. Better look good. Look at them real close too. Look at them real close, because you don't see no multitudes of them like you see multitudes of us. We got folks can walk on any NBA court or any track and they won't smoking so much weed and drinking so much Hennessy. They could right now star. So we got millions of them. But anyway, my point is this. They don't know why we brilliant. They just say, when it's the white boy, he's a student of the game. He studies, he's practiced, he's a student of the game. But for us, they say, you can't teach that. You can't teach that. That right there cannot be taught. Oh, so he's not a student, he's a master. That's what you're saying. That's what we do. We tell you that. They point out you're great because it's in the bloodline, baby. Read what Jonathan and his armor bearer did against them uncircumcised Philistines. 2 against 20 in about an acre of land. Man, they was like, man, we gonna get busy. Man, let's get busy. Boom, 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 boom. Last thing you know, man, 20 dead Philistines. And 2 unscratched, unscathed Hebrew Israelites. They like, come on, man. We started martial art. That's our thing. You didn't learn that, did you? Because they didn't teach you nothing. That's our thing. Martial arts doesn't come from China. Come from the Hebrews. Read the Bible. Read the Bible about how nobody could whoop us. Read the Bible about how we handled the sword. Read the Bible about our hand-to-hand combat. That's our thing, Zion. They didn't tell you that. We got it honest. How come we can blow the trumpet? We have a feast called the Feast of Trumpets. Everybody can play the trumpet. Man, how come we can play why we can play the guitar so good? You ain't read about your grandpa, man, was a professional harp player. A harp ain't nothing but a guitar. Professional. He was so cold-blooded playing jazz. Woo! When the King Saul would be feeling demon-possessed, man, they would bring in David. That'd be like today, us, man, turning on the radio, listen to some jazz, man, some Oscar Peterson, some Miles Davis, or some Charlie Parker, or whoever's out there, you know what I'm saying? Some Joshua Redman, or whoever's your man, you know? That's what we will do. Man, we've been doing that forever. They didn't tell you that. We don't understand why they have such great talent. And watch this. They say this. Watch this. That can't be taught. That can't be taught. It just seems that they're born with it. It just seems that. So they show you all your singers, all your dancers, all your computer analysts, all your, come on. But then they never say, oh, by the way, these people are a nation called Israel. They are the true Semitic bloodline people on the planet. And they were, you just got reminded that you was a slave. That's it. They didn't tell you nothing. Read that, go read that Deuteronomy. Matter of fact, wait till you get to chapter 30. Woo, you're going to have some shouting going on. Go back and read with understanding Isaiah 11. Read with understanding Jeremiah. You ought to read. When Kepha said, this is that which was spoken of by Joel the prophet, you need to go back and read Joel. Everybody talking about Ezekiel's will in the middle of the will, but you ain't understanding Ezekiel's dry bones. You ain't understanding the skin coming on the bones and the people being disjointed that were dead, don't even know who they are, coming together until they stand up. And once they all stand up, they realize, we Yah's marching army. We're the marching army of Yah. We thought it was over. Bones dry, hope gone. Anyway, Zion, I've been on here live 22 minutes. And you learn more in 22 minutes about your history. But I can't stop without mentioning something else. What else they didn't tell you? They didn't tell you that Yehoshua HaMashiach is your Messiah. They didn't tell you that. They didn't tell you that, did they? They didn't tell you that you were related to him on his mama's side, did they? They didn't say that he was. They didn't teach you that he's from the tribe of Yehuda, the same tribe that got put on them slave ships and brought over. Come from King Redeemer, King. He's our Redeemer. They didn't tell you that. They didn't tell you about how it was many of the ships that were used in the slave trade were actually owned by Jewish people. Online, don't take my word for it. The Hebrew Israelites were sold by their brethren into slavery the first time. This time they sold by, well, I'll put it like this. The jury is still out on whether they have any of Abraham's blood. We were pretty notorious now when it came to, making babies. So ain't no telling where we been and what we've been doing, who we've been doing it with. So I'm not going to get into that argument right now. I'm just making a point. They didn't tell you that, did they? They didn't tell you that our king was not only the greatest Hebrew ever to live, greater than Solomon, greater than David, greater than Jonah, greater than Moses, greater than Abraham. Matter of fact, Abraham rejoiced to see his day. Greater than Enoch, greater than Adam. He's the second Adam. He is, first Adam is what the text says, carnal or natural man. Second Adam, spiritual man. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you they tried to kill him, but death couldn't kill him. They tried to bury him, but the grave couldn't hold him. They didn't tell you that he got up with all power and declared that he's coming back. Zion. He also told us, hey, if we didn't get our act together, Rome was going to do just what Deuteronomy said. They was going to persecute the city, wipe us out, and we would be suffering the consequences of our disobedience. And guess what? That's what happened. So this is the last day that y'all gonna I guess it's okay to be Black Power for 28 days. But this is y'all last day. You better get it in. You better get in whatever you today. You gotta go back to being shh, shh, shh. But not me. No, not me. I'm free. I'm free. When you see me, you looking at real freedom. I have no handlers. I have nobody undergirding me. I got nobody on top of me saying what I can say, what I cannot say, what I can do, what I can't do, because I'm a Hebrew Yisraelite being empowered by Almighty Yah to help wake up Jacob and tell him something instead of telling them nothing.